Hey Buddy Fighters, today I'm going to be talking about some of the new cards and information for Buddy Fight, so let's just get straight into it. So first off, we have Buddy Lineage, which is basically going to be the English set of the third Ultimate Booster, which I'll talk about later, which is Buddy Chronicles in the Japanese version. It's also a combination of this set, which if you go to the link, which I'll leave a link to everything, of course, and Buddy Spoiler as well, and Freedom Duo, it is the character pack where we're basically going to be getting support for Yuga, and also the Blood Dragon, which is what Dan Yamada uses. So awesome to see that. We're also be getting support for Jackknife Bots, Zwei, and some other popular monsters here right there. So Bushiroad aren't completely leaving everything, all the new stuff in this dust, so that's really great to see. We're getting support for that. Don't take this as Gao or Kyoya coming back. Obviously, we've already seen Tsuku, but just keep that in mind, so that's cool to see that other stuff are getting support as well. Doesn't mention Chaos, but we do have all worlds confirmed. So yeah, there's that, and that's really awesome to see as well. And of course, we also got the Ultimate set and other stuff revealed. I'm going to do a highlight video for Gargantua Awaken and the Ultimate sets, which I'll talk about later. Anyways, let's move on. We've also got some information on another special series here. So this first special series is the Yuga, sorry, not the Yuga decks, but the Ranma cards for Lost World, which we'll talk about later. We'll probably see that in the episode tomorrow. But we've got Sure Kill, Triple Punisher, so we only have information that this is going to be a new set, where probably a new strategy, new cards for Yuga, where he takes down Ranma. So just a little something there on the hint on the side, so it's not a main set, and hopefully we'll see stuff for other worlds soon. Anyways, if we go all the way down here, okay, there you go. So here's the Special Series 1, which is going to be the Ranma Dimension Gate Lost Vanity Dimension. So here's the Japanese product right here. Hopefully, Bushiroad will pull some magic and make this look absolutely amazing when they bring it to English. But obviously, that looks great. We've got Ranma in his evil form right here after becoming buddies with Vanity. We've also got Lost World Flag, which we'll have a look as well, and a lot of the stuff as well. So first off, cards with Lost World and can't be mixed with the normal cards with the different backing. So basically, how it works is that we'll have to wait for more rulings, but the Lost World and that are going to be two separate decks as well. So before we talk about the Lost World cards, I want to talk about this because DD, Dragon Sword, Garcris. Now, there is a difference. I'll put it on the left right here. As you see, there's a difference in foiling from the triple rare, sorry, not the double rare in the Japanese and the English. So you can check that out. Check out the website. I do like it, honestly. It does look great, but I think the Japanese did it better, and I think there could be improvements. So it's a little disappointing to see, especially when they made a whole month delay, but I think all the cards look great, and especially some of the secret cards are looking incredible, especially the SPs. So yeah, that's great to see, and hopefully Bushiroad will really push it out there and hopefully do some promotion for Gargantua Awaken, especially because there weren't any caravans at all for Buddy Fight. Anyways, moving on really quickly. So here we are, second set for Buddyfight Ace, Dimension Destroyer. Now, I forget, check Buddy Spoiler and other stuff for the English dates. I forgot what they were. I don't want to mix things up. As you see, here is the art right here for the pack. We've got Yuga looking pretty intense right there, and Ranma just wanting to destroy everything from him, and the Ace anime is really building up to this. We're also going to be getting character flags, and this is great to see because you don't necessarily need to get a bling flag, but getting the characters on it looks really nice, especially if you enjoy the anime and the characters. That is really awesome to see. We also have the 4 worlds, Dragon World, Star Dragon World, Ancient World, Katana World, and we also in the Core magazine got this interesting image of Garga in maybe a Katana World form. We're not really too sure, maybe it's a leak, but people are speculating because Garga can be used in all flags, and maybe we'll get other world forms as well, and maybe we'll see Yuga using Dragon World or some other worlds, not Dragon World, besides Dragon World. Anyways, we also have some other stuff as well, but let's hop onto Buddy Spoiler and have a look at some of the cards. We also got the box topper, sorry, not the box toppers, but we also got the information for Gargantua Weekend. Anyways, the Lost World flags right here. A lot of the stuff that we got revealed from the character pack and Dimension Destroyer also on here as well for on Buddy Spoiler and on the wiki. So first let's talk about the new forms of Ahito. Great card, getting critical power to everything, so we know that that's going to be getting new support if you play any of the 3 Astro Dragon, Link Dragon Order, or DD Dragon Tribe. We also got a new Astrology, which is definitely interesting. I don't really think it's too great, but it's an interesting card. We also got Buddy Double Mode, which calls by G Evolution, so you can still use other effects. But first, this is what we're here to talk about, the Lost World flag. So first off, you cannot choose Lost World's initial flag. You may put up to 2 copies of this into your deck in all flags and use it. So Lost World is basically support or another separate, people are calling it extra deck, which it isn't. It's a completely different concept. But basically you're allowing to switch your deck, as you see right here, so you only use Lost Worlds. So once you evolve your flag and Lostnify it, which is the effect, and because it's an effect, named effect, Jackknife's Overturn cannot nullify it. So then if your opponent's turn, you choose your flag, K2 gauge. If you do, put this card from your hand on top of chosen flag, remove all from your deck from your fight, and shuffle Lost Egg, replace it. So essentially you are replacing the deck only. Shuffles just to make sure you know you're not rigging it, because it's courtesy to do that at the start of every fight with each deck. But you're still keeping your hand, field, and drop zone as well. So certain stuff like battle building could be very strong stuff that has from drop, or we're also getting support for dimensional dragons, which we'll talk about later, that work between Dragon World and Lost World, which have their own separate effects under each flags, essentially. So it's really interesting to see that, and the Lost Worlds also have no, Lost Monsters have no size, which I'll talk about later, because Chaos can't use it, and so certain cards that talk about certain attributes or sizes, sizes in particular, aren't able to use this. But it's definitely interesting. I saw a discussion on this, and we're going to have to wait till rulings. But at the end of your opponent's turn, you have to choose a flag. And of course, if you don't have that 2 gauge, you can't use it. Again, it's really hard to get because you only have 2 copies, even if you are drawing out your whole deck. And maybe you get both of the flags in your gauge. That'd be real unfortunate. But basically how it works is that I don't think Pandemic can stop this, because apparently how it works is with flags. Again, we're going to have to wait till rulings. But Omni Lords can still be used because you do have a flag, but they can be used with all flags. Even though the flag has lost its effect, it's still a flag in the end. So again, we're going to have to wait for that. I don't want to confirm that, but don't get me wrong, there's lots of ways you can counter this. Again, you do have that counter time, because it's the end of your turn, you still have your main phase, your attack phase, all of that stuff. So I wouldn't completely take it out as being busted, or a lot of people are just saying a lot of cards are incredible, like power creeped, OP, that's what Ace has come to. Let's just talk about some of the cards and what things you can do to counter them. So first off, let's start with its impact. Now, people are freaking over this because, oh my gosh, 3 gauge, 10 damage, it's busted, you can instant kill your opponent. Yes, but do keep in mind, you have to be, at the end of your opponent's turn, still have enough gauge and be able to Lostnify. So if you're going first, you're not going to be able to get into Lost on the first turn, assuming you can even draw the flag and get it out. Again, you need to have 2 or more Lost Vaders on your field. First off, I believe the only one, do these dragons have Lost Vader? Yes, they do. So basically, you need to have 2 monsters in your field. Again, none of these cards so far, we haven't seen an immunity effect, so they can easily be destroyed by card effects or returned to hand or put into the drop zone even. So obviously, you can get rid of that at the beginning of your opponent's final phase, and you can get rid of that requirement. So if they don't have 2 more Lost Vaders, they can't use this impact. Again, 3 gauge is a little bit heavy, but that shouldn't be too hard for Lost World, and especially if you set it up before. Again, prepares a lot of setup for before you bring out Lost World. 10 damage is crazy, yes, but you can nullify the impact, you can reduce it, it's revivable, it's not, what's it called, Thunder X Tempest Buster, it's stoppable. And people are freaking out over this because it's 10 damage, this stuff is insane, it's got a critical, stuff like that. Some of the other cards we'll see, for example, this card, a triple attacker that gets you free draws. Yes, it's crazy, but you do have to keep in mind, and by the way, for those who don't know this yet, your Lost deck is only going to be 30 cards, meaning, again, with Buddy Fight, one of the win conditions is if your deck runs out, your opponent wins the game. So you have to be wary of how much you're drawing from your deck and how you're utilizing and preparing for this, because you don't want to mess it up or else it can cost you the game, even though they are really strong cards and have really great abilities as well. So again, their stats are a little bit crazy, but they're not necessarily immune to effects and don't have anything too crazy going for them. But some of these cards are crazy. For example, 8 critical right here with Soul Guard. Only 8,000 defense though, so definitely debatable. But you can check out a lot of these cards. This is a card people are freaking about, and we did get the card list for this deck as we saw earlier, the product. But Dimension Jamming. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and discards them. So, first off, that's a strong card, but you are using up a hand card. You only get 1 copy of this in the deck. I don't know how it is going to be in the English copy, but I assume it's probably going to be the same list. But you only get 1. So that means you're going to have to buy multiple copies. And do keep in mind, because it's a 30 card deck, you don't necessarily need to have as many, because again, the ratios are different because your deck size is smaller. But still, it is an aim once per turn, and yes, this is crazy, but I mean, we've already had like Discard Black Dragon, Darkness Dragon Wheel before. And yeah, it is a really strong card. I can't really argue against that, but it's still nullifiable. You can also counter it and other stuff like that. And I mean, it's a strong card. There's not much to say, but it is stoppable. So yes. Again, with Electro Deities, you definitely want to be playing 4 of that Nullify as well. We've also got the main Vanity that you get in the product, the S special set. So, can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects when attached, destroy a card from opponent's field, or return it to hand. So, not putting it to drop zone. So, it's not as great as the original Vanity, but it's still a great card, nevertheless, within the set. We also have some crazy nullifiers here. Dimension Mirror. So, you only cast a card during type of turn. You don't have Monster Center. You counter nullify the attack and deal damage equal critical of all monsters that attack. Now, first off, it has to be monster. So if your opponent's attacking with Cosmo Man, you can nullify the attack, but you're not going to be hitting them back for 5 damage. Though you can use this against, in a situation, let's say, against Blast Mode. Now, Blast Mode can't be nullified or reduced, and of course, if he enters by G-Evolution, he gets the extra critical. So if your opponent has 4 life and they're attacking with Blast Mode, you can use this card and counter. Now, if you fulfill the requirements, obviously, you don't nullify the attack, but you're able to burn your opponent for 4 damage, essentially taking them out, bring them to 0 life, so you win the game. So it is really interesting to see how these nullifies can work out. We've also got some other crazy ones like counter, just free destroy 2 cards of your opponent's field. This card that can nullify, deal 2 damage, you gain 2 life, leaving a 4 life gap. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these cards are strong, but it's not the end of the world. But I do want to talk about a few of them. This card, call a monster who drops one of Haste Call Cost, and for this turn that monster gets critical +2. Yes, you can pair this up with Vanity and get a 5 crit double attacker monster to just mess up your opponent's field and deal some crazy damage. But do keep in mind, none of these cards necessarily stop their own attacks from being nullified yet, or we haven't seen that. And a lot of the ace decks still do have a lot of nullifies and counter defenses and stuff. And I do understand why people were salty about this and were really pushing it away. But again, every single deck is going to be able to use this, keeping that in mind. And of course, we're still going to be getting more support within a ton of sets that are coming through Ace and lots of new mechanisms and stuff coming out. So I think Bushiroad knows what they're doing. It is a really strong deck, but if it gets pushed too far, it can become crazy like the Chaos, but I don't really see it going to that point yet. So again, it's not even a counter call, but it's definitely a strong card. Another one to look at would be this item right here. Someone also pointed this out that's interesting because Yuga uses melee weapons, and Ranma here is going to be using ranged gun-like weapons. Anyways, it's got 10,000 power, critical 2, no equip cost at all. But when it attacks, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it, and you draw a card with double attack. So essentially, you're going +2, essentially. Yeah, because you're drawing 1, your opponent's discarding 1, or +1 if you want to call it that technically. But basically, you're getting a lot of advantage off this card. And I do see Levitine maybe somehow getting 4 of this equipped, which would be insane. But I still think that it's a little bit difficult to get out. And again, with your deck being 30 cards, you do have to watch how much of your deck you're drawing out, engaging. And you do have to be careful. And especially if your opponent is playing, if Mill comes back, the Buddyfight Mill technique, like Abigail, Daredevil, because we did that Daredevil Crimson as well, so you can look up that card, do your own research. But Mill, I think, can definitely become stronger in the future, and that could be scary against Lost World. Anyways, that is basically all we have to say. This is crazy. Deal 5 damage, instantly take out your opponent. But I just want to talk about that because I feel like a lot of buddy fighters were freaking out about it. And there's so many awesome cards that were revealed as well. A lot of mechanisms, new players. Blood Dragon Division got some great draw power and some discard abilities. And we also got the box toppers and this card right here. Now, I highly doubt we're ever going to get a searcher for the Lost World flag. We've got these Dimensional Dragons in Dragon World, and I don't think we're going to be getting support outside of Dragon World. Maybe we will. Who knows? But at the end of the battle of this card, you can destroy this card in the field. You do, check top 5, put to 1 Dimensional Dragon or Lost World from among them into your hand and put the rest in the bottom deck in any order. So again, being able to utilize its effect within both worlds is definitely really good, and I think Dimensional Dragon is a really cool attribute, and the art looks pretty extreme and just really out there and extravagant and in your face. So that's really all I really have to say. I'm really excited for the support we're going to be getting. I'm still just really disappointed in what Bushiroad's been doing so far. The community has been pretty great. I've seen some people get salty, maybe people saying, oh, I'm going to quit the game, Lost World is busted. I say give it a chance, see how it is. If you're really just quitting the game before you can just, before everything even comes out, well then you haven't seen much. And again, a lot of the ace decks are very strong as well and can definitely stand up to this, especially the ultimate sets as well, like Cosmo Heroes, Electro Deities, Folktale. So again, be patient, see how it is. But again, it's great to see this kind of support. But with Bushiroad, they still haven't done a lot of the stuff on the English website. So Bushiroad, if you're watching this, I just hope that you're ready to do something with Buddyfight. But I know the community is out there, and they're ready to support this game. So I'm really just waiting on that. So yeah, give it a chance. Tell me what you think of Lost World. That's a new set. Really great to see everything getting new support. And lots of things to come. And hopefully Bushiroad can have some pretty exciting content waiting for us. And Buddyfight Ace is definitely putting it up there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out of breath now. And have a great day.